First contact and resistance. The stars looked different tonight. Commander Sarah Chen knew it the moment she stepped onto the observation deck of Orbital Station Sentinel. 20 years in deep space observation had given her an intimate knowledge of the night sky, and something was definitely wrong. 3 new points of light moved across the star field, following trajectories that defied natural orbital mechanics. "Marcus, are you seeing this?" Sarah called to her second-in-command, who was monitoring the sensor array. Lieutenant Marcus Wells stared at his console, his face illuminated by the blue glow of the screens. "Confirmed, Commander. 3 objects approaching from the Kuiper belt. Their velocity..." He paused, rechecking his calculations. "It's impossible. They're moving at nearly 0.3 c and decelerating." Sarah felt her heart rate quicken. Humanity had long prepared for this moment, first contact, but preparation and reality were entirely different beasts. "Alert Earth Defense Command. This is not a drill." Within hours, the Global Defense Network was activated. In the underground command center beneath Geneva, General Darius Wilson paced the room as holographic displays showed the approaching vessels. Representatives from every major nation sat around a circular table, their faces grim in the dim light. "The objects have entered Mars orbit," reported the sensor officer. "They've slowed considerably. Thermal signatures suggest massive energy generation far beyond our capabilities." General Wilson nodded. "What about communications?" "Nothing yet, sir. We've broadcast on all frequencies, but..." The officer was interrupted by a sudden burst of static from the speakers. The main screen flickered and an image appeared. The being that looked back at them was vaguely humanoid, with pale lavender skin and 4 eyes arranged in a diamond pattern. Its head was elongated, and what appeared to be breathing apparatus covered the lower portion of its face. "People of Earth," the alien spoke. Its voice translated through computer systems that had been designed for this very purpose. "I am High Commander Vrax of the Vraxian Empire. Your world has been deemed suitable for integration. You will surrender your planet's resources and population for the greater glory of the Empire. Resistance is futile and will result in planetary sterilization. You have 1 rotation of your planet to decide." The transmission ended, leaving the room in stunned silence. "Well," General Wilson said finally, "they're not here to make friends." Dr. Alia Khan, head of the Xenobiology Division, spoke up. "This confirms what we've long theorized. Advanced species might view less technologically developed civilizations as resources rather than equals." "How do we fight something like this?" asked the Chinese representative. "Their technology is clearly centuries beyond ours." General Wilson's face hardened. "We've been preparing for this possibility for decades. Project Prometheus is ready." The room erupted in murmurs. Project Prometheus was humanity's secret contingency plan, a global defense initiative that had been developed in coordination with the world's leading scientists, engineers, and military strategists. "Begin evacuation of major population centers," Wilson ordered, "and activate all Prometheus protocols. We have less than 24 hours. Across the globe, underground shelters opened their doors. Military bases activated dormant systems that had been built in secret. In orbit, satellites that had appeared to be communication relays revealed their true nature as defense platforms. On Orbital Station Sentinel, Commander Chen received new orders. "Ma'am, we're being instructed to activate the graviton array," Lieutenant Wells reported. Sarah nodded grimly. The graviton array, a system designed to manipulate localized gravity fields, had been disguised as a scientific experiment for years. Now its true purpose would be revealed. "Power it up," she ordered, "and pray it works." As Earth prepared, the 3 Vraxian vessels maintained their position in Mars orbit. Inside the command ship, High Commander Vrax observed the blue planet with disdain. "Preliminary scans show primitive defenses," reported his science officer. "Rudimentary nuclear weapons, limited space capabilities, no energy shields or faster-than-light technology." Vrax made a dismissive gesture with one of his 4 arms. "As expected, they will surrender as all lesser species do. Prepare the harvester ships." "Commander," the science officer suddenly tensed, I'm detecting unusual energy signatures from the planet. They appear to be activating something. Vrax leaned forward. Explain. The energy patterns are unfamiliar, but they're growing in strength, concentrated at strategic points across the planet and in orbit. A primitive last stand, Vrax said dismissively. It changes nothing. Begin the approach. The 3 Vraxian vessels broke formation and accelerated toward Earth. As they passed the moon, Earth's response began. The graviton array fired, creating distortions in space-time around the approaching ships. The lead vessel suddenly slowed, caught in the invisible web of altered gravity. What is happening? Vrax demanded as his ship shuddered. Unknown technology, his engineer reported frantically. They're manipulating gravity itself. Our drives are straining against it. On Earth, General Wilson watched the tactical display with grim satisfaction. Phase 1 successful. Now for Phase 2. From hidden bases on the moon, hundreds of small, unmanned drones launched. Unlike traditional spacecraft, these were designed specifically for one purpose: to deliver quantum-locked electromagnetic pulse weapons directly to the alien vessels. The primitives are launching projectiles, Vrax's tactical officer reported. Minimal threat, activating defense screens. But the drones weren't trying to penetrate the alien shields through force. Instead, they positioned themselves in a complex 3-dimensional grid around the struggling Vraxian vessels. Then, simultaneously, they activated. The quantum-locked EMP weapons didn't need to breach the shields. They created a cascading field, effect that propagated through the shield's own energy matrix. Inside the lead Vraxian vessel, systems began to fail. Impossible, Vrax raged as his command console flickered and died. How can they have such technology? What the Vraxians didn't know was that humanity had been studying fragments of crashed alien technology for decades, recovered from various sites around the globe. While Earth scientists couldn't reproduce the advanced technology, they had learned enough to target its vulnerabilities. The lead ship is disabled, Lieutenant Wells reported excitedly on Sentinel Station. The other 2 are attempting evasive maneuvers. Commander Chen nodded. Deploy the kinetic interceptors. From Earth's surface, massive railguns, hidden in mountain ranges and beneath ocean platforms, fired specially designed projectiles. These weren't conventional weapons but delivery systems for swarms of nanobots designed to infiltrate and disable alien technology. The second Vraxian vessel was struck by multiple interceptors. While its shields prevented direct damage, the nanobots attached to the shield matrix itself, gradually working their way through by exploiting quantum fluctuations. We've lost contact with the Vanguard ship, reported Vrax's communications officer, and our shields are showing unusual patterns. Vrax could not comprehend what was happening. How could a primitive species mount such an effective defense? It defied all Imperial intelligence. What he didn't understand was humanity's greatest strength, adaptability born from thousands of years of constant warfare and competition. Humans had been preparing for threats not just from the stars, but from each other, developing asymmetric warfare tactics that now proved effective against a technologically superior enemy. As the nanobots breached the second ship's systems, Earth forces launched their next phase, a direct assault using modified fighter craft. These weren't meant to destroy the alien vessels but to create entry points for special forces teams. Within hours, the unthinkable had happened. 2 Vraxian vessels were disabled, and Commander Vrax's ship was surrounded. The special forces teams, composed of the best soldiers from nations around the world, had captured the Vanguard ship and were extracting its technology and information. This cannot be, Vrax said as he watched the tactical display showing human forces boarding his lead vessel. They are primitives. They should have surrendered. His tactical officer looked up, a new emotion visible in his 4 eyes. Fear. Commander, they're hailing us. On the screen appeared General Wilson, standing on the bridge of the captured Vraxian vessel. Hi, Commander Vrax. Your attack on Earth has failed. Your technology is being studied as we speak. We offer you one chance to retreat and deliver a message to your empire. Vrax's skin darkened with rage. What message, Primitive? Wilson's expression remained calm. Earth is not for harvesting. Humanity will not surrender. Any further aggression will be met with the full force of our resistance. We've defeated your vanguard with only a fraction of our capabilities. Consider carefully what that means for your empire's future. As the transmission ended, Vrax faced an unthinkable decision. The humans had accomplished what no species had done in centuries of imperial expansion. They had not only resisted but had captured imperial technology. Retreat, he ordered finally. Set course back to imperial space. As the remaining Vraxian vessel limped away from Earth, humanity celebrated its first victory against an alien threat. But General Wilson and Commander Chen knew this was only the beginning. The Empire would return, and Earth would need to be ready. Begin reverse engineering immediately, Wilson ordered as he surveyed the captured alien vessel. We need to understand everything about their technology, their biology, their tactics. Commander Chen nodded. And their weaknesses. The first battle for Earth was over. Humanity had survived. And more than that, they had shown the galaxy that underestimating humans was a dangerous mistake. The Empire had set its sights on Earth, but humanity had made them regret it. And this was only the beginning. Counterattack and triumph. 6 months after the failed Vraxian invasion, Earth had transformed. The captured alien technology had accelerated human development by decades, if not centuries. Research facilities around the globe worked tirelessly to integrate Vraxian systems with human ingenuity, creating hybrid technologies that often surpassed the original designs. In the newly constructed Earth Defense Headquarters beneath the Himalayas, General Wilson reviewed the latest intelligence with his senior staff. The holographic display showed a massive fleet assembling at the edge of the solar system. The Empire isn't taking their defeat lightly, Wilson observed. 53 vessels, including what appears to be their version of a dreadnought. Commander Chen, now promoted to admiral, studied the formations. They've adapted their approach. No more small vanguard. They're bringing overwhelming force. Dr. Khan, who had spent months studying Vraxian biology and culture from the captured specimens, spoke up. They're a hierarchical species with a rigid command structure. Their entire society is built on the concept of superiority through technological advancement. Our victory shattered their worldview. This isn't just about conquering Earth anymore. It's about restoring their sense of cosmic order. Wilson nodded grimly. Then we'll have to shatter it again. Admiral Chen, are the orbital platforms ready? Yes, sir. The shield network is operational, and the graviton arrays have been upgraded with Vraxian power sources. The moon base has been expanded with manufacturing facilities producing our new hybrid fighters. The door to the command center slid open, and Dr. Elijah Moore entered, his lab coat rumpled from days without sleep. As Earth's leading physicist, he had been instrumental in understanding the principles behind Vraxian technology. General, we've made a breakthrough, he announced, his eyes bright with excitement despite his exhaustion. We've decoded their faster-than-light communication system. We can not only intercept their transmissions, but potentially disrupt their entire command network. For the first time in months, Wilson allowed himself a genuine smile. That changes everything. If we can isolate their fleet from the Empire's command, exactly, Moore said. And there's more. We've managed to retrofit the captured vessel with a fully functional drive system. It's ready for deployment. The captured Vraxian ship, now renamed the EDS Prometheus, had been Earth's most closely guarded secret. While the rest of the world knew of humanity's technological leaps, the existence of an operational alien vessel under human control remained classified at the highest level. Begin final preparations, Wilson ordered. The Vraxian fleet will reach attack range in 48 hours. I want everything ready within 24. Across the solar system, humanity's defenses stood ready. The asteroid belt had been converted into a minefield of automated defense platforms. Jupiter's moons hosted early warning systems and long-range weapon installations. Mars, once the staging area for the first Vraxian attack, now served as humanity's forward operating base. On the Vraxian command vessel, Fleet Lord Kravix reviewed the assault plan with cold determination. His predecessor's failure had cost the Empire dearly in prestige and resources. He would not make the same mistakes. The humans have had time to study our technology, he told his assembled commanders. Expect them to have adapted some of our systems for their defense. However, they cannot possibly have mastered Imperial science in mere months. Our overwhelming force will prevail. His intelligence officer, a veteran of numerous conquest campaigns, appeared less certain. Fleet Lord, our scouts report unusual activity throughout the system. The humans have established presences on multiple planetary bodies and have restructured their orbital defenses extensively. Kravix dismissed these concerns with a wave of his hand. As expected, they are spreading their limited resources thin. It will make them easier to overwhelm. Deploy the fleet in standard conquest formation. We will strike directly at their homeworld and end this aberration. Little did he know that humanity had been anticipating exactly this approach. As the Vraxian fleet accelerated toward Earth, they encountered no resistance, a fact that puzzled the Vraxian commanders but reinforced their belief in human weakness. No defensive action detected, reported the lead tactical officer as the fleet passed Mars orbit. Their orbital platforms are powered but inactive. Kravix studied the sensor readings with growing suspicion. Continue approach, but maintain alert status. This seems too easy. His caution was justified. As the Vraxian fleet reached the optimal attack position, Admiral Chen gave the order that humanity had been waiting to deliver. Execute Operation Trojan. All units, engage. Throughout the solar system, humanity's true defense plan activated. The seemingly inactive platforms around Earth suddenly generated a massive energy shield, not to keep the Vraxians out, but to keep them in. Simultaneously, the modified graviton arrays created a localized disruption in space-time, preventing the Vraxian fleet from initiating emergency faster-than-light jumps. We're trapped, the Vraxian navigation officer reported in growing panic. They've created some kind of spatial distortion field. Before Kravix could respond, a new threat appeared on their sensors. From behind the moon emerged the EDS Prometheus, accompanied by thousands of Earth's new hybrid fighters. Unlike conventional spacecraft, these vessels incorporated Vraxian shield technology with uniquely human weapon systems, but the most shocking development was yet to come. Dr. Moore's breakthrough with the FTL communication system allowed Earth to broadcast a signal that mimicked the Imperial command override, effectively freezing the Vraxian fleet's automated defense systems for precious seconds. All ships fire at will, Admiral Chen ordered from her command post on the moon base. The hybrid fighters swarmed the Vraxian vessels, targeting specific vulnerabilities that had been identified through months of research. Rather than attempting to destroy the massive warships outright, Earth's forces focused on disabling their propulsion and weapon systems. On the Vraxian command ship, chaos erupted as systems failed across the board. How is this possible? Kravix demanded as his tactical display showed ship after ship losing power. They're using our own command protocols against us. What the Vraxians failed to understand was humanity's unique approach to warfare. While the Empire relied on technological superiority and overwhelming force, humans had millennia of experience in asymmetric conflict. They didn't try to match the Vraxians' strengths. They exploited their weaknesses. The EDS Prometheus, piloted by Earth's most skilled crew, demonstrated capabilities that shocked even the Vraxians. The humans had not simply learned to operate the vessel. They had improved upon its design, integrating technologies and approaches that the rigid Vraxian engineering philosophy had never considered. Fleet Lord, the communications officer reported, "We've lost contact with the Empire. They've somehow blocked our FTL communications." Kravix's four eyes widened in realization. They're isolating us, cutting us off from reinforcements. As the battle raged, Earth revealed its final advantage. From Mars launched a fleet of unmanned drones carrying a specially designed virus, both digital and biological. The digital component infiltrated the Vraxian ship's computer systems, while the biological element targeted the Vraxians themselves. What is happening to our crews? Demanded Kravix as reports flooded in of Vraxians collapsing at their stations. Dr. Khan had discovered a critical vulnerability in Vraxian biology. Their respiratory systems were highly sensitive to a specific compound that humans naturally produced, in minute quantities. Concentrated and weaponized, it acted as a powerful sedative on Vraxian physiology without causing permanent harm, a deliberately humane approach that would later prove crucial. Within hours, the seemingly impossible had happened again. The mighty Vraxian fleet, 53 vessels of the most powerful empire in this sector of the galaxy, had been neutralized by a species they had dismissed as primitive. Admiral Chen, accompanied by General Wilson and Dr. Khan, boarded the Vraxian command ship to confront Fleet Lord Kravix. The Vraxian commander, though sedated, remained conscious enough to understand what had transpired. "Impossible," he muttered as the humans entered the bridge. "You cannot have defeated an Imperial conquest fleet." Wilson stepped forward. "And yet, here we stand. Your ships are disabled. Your crews are incapacitated but alive. A courtesy you wouldn't have extended to us." "The Empire will send more ships," Kravix warned. "Hundreds, thousands. You cannot resist the full might of the Vraxian Empire." Admiral Chen smiled. "Actually, we've already addressed that." She nodded to Dr. Moore, who activated a communication device. On the main screen appeared the Imperial Palace on the Vraxian homeworld, a sight that shocked Kravix to his core. How could the humans have this image? "While your fleet approached Earth," Chen explained, "our captured vessel made a faster-than-light jump to your homeworld. We now have emissaries meeting with your emperor, showing evidence of not one but two defeated fleets." "Lies," Kravix hissed, though doubt crept into his voice. "Your empire conquers because it's easier than coexistence," Dr. Khan said. "But humanity doesn't seek conquest. We offer an alternative, alliance rather than subjugation." Wilson leaned closer to the Vraxian commander. "Your emperor has a choice. Continue sending fleets that will defeat, depleting your empire's resources, and destabilizing your control over other systems, or establish diplomatic relations with Earth as equals." As if on cue, the screen changed to show a human delegation in the Imperial throne room, standing not as supplicants but as representatives of a power that had earned respect through resistance. "Impossible," Kravix whispered again, but with less conviction. 3 months later, the first official diplomatic vessel from the Vraxian Empire arrived at Earth, not as conquerors but as envoys seeking peaceful relations. The Emperor, pragmatic despite centuries of expansionist tradition, had recognized the futility of attempting to subjugate a species that could defeat his best fleets with inferior resources but superior ingenuity. In the new Earth-Vraxian Treaty, hall-built in Geneva, Admiral Chen watched as human and Vraxian representatives signed the first interstellar peace accord in Earth's history. "Do you think they've truly accepted us as equals?" she asked General Wilson. The general observed the Vraxian diplomats, noting their body language respectful rather than condescending. "They've accepted that underestimating humanity is a costly mistake. It's a start." Dr. Khan joined them, her expression thoughtful. "They still don't fully understand us. Their society values technological advancement above all else, yet we defeated them using their own technology in ways they never imagined. That's humanity's greatest strength," Wilson said. "Not our weapons or our numbers, but our adaptability, our creativity under pressure, our willingness to try the impossible." As Earth began sharing its unique perspectives with the wider galactic community, a new phrase entered the Vraxian language, a term for species that appeared less advanced but possessed unexpected capabilities. The closest translation in human language would be deceptively formidable, but to those familiar with Earth's history, it meant something simpler. It meant humanity. The Empire had set its sights on Earth, expecting an easy conquest. Instead, they found a species that refused to surrender, that turned the enemy's strengths against them, and that ultimately transformed a would-be conqueror into an ally. The Vraxian Empire had come to subjugate Earth, and left fundamentally changed by the encounter. In the decades that followed, As humanity expanded into the stars with its unique blend of borrowed technology and original innovation, other species would learn the same lesson. Earth might be a small planet around an unremarkable star, but its people had made empires regret underestimating them and would continue to do so throughout the galaxy.